Hello? Where are you, Pat? You'll be pleased to learn I've returned to you early. My meeting with those half-witted barons concluded mercifully ahead of schedule. I've been looking all over my chambers for... Oh no. Is that you there, Pat? What are you doing all alone on the balcony? And in this dreadful storm? Why, it's raining buckets out there. And you're not even wearing a cloak. You're still dressed in your house clothes. You must be soaked to the skin. Here, let me open the door. Hurry inside, quickly. What happened? What do you mean? I know you can't help your chattering teeth, darling, but try not to stammer. I can hardly understand you over this howling rain to begin with. Yes, of course I know how my pet enjoys going outside on the balcony for a little fresh air most mornings. So you're telling me that you stepped outside earlier, and then... what happened? Someone closed the balcony door and latched it by mistake. Oh no, poor thing. You've been locked out here, in the midst of this horrid downpour, into these blistering storm winds. One of the servants must have seen the balcony door ajar and latched it, not realizing that you were outside. I ordered them to leave you alone as not to interrupt your special meal, since I could see how hungry you were this morning. Doubtless, they obeyed me and left our chambers after securing the door, so they could hardly hear you calling for help. You must have been trapped for at least an hour, perhaps longer. How positively awful. No wonder you're shaking and shivering like some poor defenseless rabbit caught in the eye of a blizzard. This rain must have chilled you to the bone. And oh, water is running down your scalp in rivulets. It's utterly ruined your beautiful hair. This is just terrible. I can't bear to think of how you must have felt cowering all alone out here for so long. With those baleful winds and this unrelenting torrent of stinging raindrops beating down on your shoulders and soaking every inch of you. But don't fret. I'm here now. Empress is here to rescue her good pet. Take my hand. That's it. I've got you. Oh, but wait. I'm afraid I can't allow you to step inside in this condition. Your clothes are so cold and wet and clammy. You would think they'd been pilfered from a shipwreck. I can't let you drip dirty rainwater all over my polished wooden floors. And besides, you're liable to catch a deathly chill if you stay in those wet garments. And we wouldn't want that. Take them off. Yes, all of them, Pat. Your underclothes will have to go as well, I'm afraid. They're no doubt as wet as all the rest. But don't worry. Your mistress hasn't forgotten how shy you are about undressing before her. I'll respect your modesty and close my eyes. When you're finished, take this towel here and dry off, and then wrap it around your body to cover yourself. There we are. Good, Pat. Quick as ever to follow instructions. Shh. Don't fret. I'm not looking. Finished? Alright. I'm sorry. I know how you chafe at being like this before me. That little humiliated look in your downturned eyes is adorable. But I promise that this is only for your own good. Here, take my hand again. Let me lead you into the drawing room. There's a good pet. How fortunate that the fire is already stoked and roaring, ready to press the warmth back into your chilled muscles and sinews. But after what you've endured, you'll need more than just a distant flame to warm you. You require a more intimate warmth. Here, let me sit down on this armchair, and you may sit on my lap. I'll draw the soft, heavy satin blanket over both of us. Let its folds envelop you. Don't you already feel so much better? Dry and out of those awful drenched clothes, wrapped up snug and tight in the soft fabric. The lapping flames of the fire embracing you from without, while the warmth of my body cradles you from within. No need to speak, Pat. Your teeth are still chattering from the cold, and it's difficult to understand you. But your little purrs of contentment tell me all I need to know. Oh, I just can't believe such a trifling mistake led to this. How horrible. You poor thing. Let me bring my hands to stroke your hair. You're quite fond of me doing that, aren't you? Wrap your arms around me. Nestle in close. You're safe now, I promise. No more cold wavelets of rain. No more ear-splitting thunder and hideous lightning streaking across the sky. None of those frightening things can reach my good pet within their safe, soft blanket. Focus on your Empress's gentle hands patting your head. Focus on embracing her nice, warm body. Relax. Is that a shy smile I spy creeping onto your trembling lips? It is such a relief to be home and back in my arms again, isn't it, Pat? As we recline here, would you like something to drink? Something hot, fierce, and fiery, perhaps, to warm you yet further? I know just the thing. Let me ring for a servant. Girl, fetch a cup of tea for my companion here, and remember to add a pinch of sugar and a spoonful of honey. I want this drink to be especially sweet on their tongue. They deserve it after the day they've had. Poor thing. Hurry along now. Good girl. My. What was that, Pat? Did you think I wouldn't notice you hiding your head beneath the cover of your blanket as my servant approached us? Your Empress notices everything, as I often remind you. Not that you were being particularly subtle. Why ever did you do such a silly thing, I wonder? Are you embarrassed to be seen like this? In this weakened, exposed state you find yourself in, sitting here in my lap? Surely you know that she can't see you, whether or not you try to hide. Or was that a little retreat beneath the covers not a conscious choice on your part, but rather the work of base instinct? Perhaps it's just in the nature of rats to try to burrow down deep in the shadows when they feel vulnerable. That is, after all, how you arrived on these shores in the first place, if memory serves. Skulking in a box in the dark. Perhaps such soft-hearted behavior merely comes naturally to someone like you. Oh, what's that hurt look all of a sudden? What's that fresh wetness in your eyes? Oh, I see. I called you a rat again, didn't I? I know how it so badly wounds your pride when I do that. But you simply must understand. It's very difficult to resist calling a creature what they so plainly are. It's so hard to pretend you're anything but a little rat. Scared and confused and helpless. When a few teasing words can make you writhe and squirm nervously against my body like that. If only you could feel the desperation with which your little paws cling to me as shame was inside you. If only you could do that, you would see the wisdom in my words. Oh, no need to apologize. I'm hardly upset with you. It's folly to be upset at an animal for acting in accordance with their nature. And I know very well by now what sort of a timid animal you are. Though, I will confess, it is a touch amusing to watch you now behaving so demurely and being so delightfully submissive after your little tantrum at breakfast this morning. Oh, bad. If only you could see how wide your eyes just grew. Fear looks so very adorable on you. You didn't think I'd forgotten your insolent behavior towards me this morning, did you? How you protested when I ordered you to your bath. How you looked at me with that laughable righteousness in your eyes. As though I was being so utterly unfair with you. Now, don't fret. I'm not vexed with you anymore. As I said, I'm merely amused. You were so confident this morning now, smiling and holding your head high, in good spirits, stuffing your mouth with tasty tarts. You looked every little bit the pompous little royal. You certainly had no problem speaking with my servant girl in the looking in her eye then. And now look at you, cowering, clutching in my body with trembling, anxious hands under your blanket. Frightened even to allow that same servant to see your face. I wonder what turned my pretty little royal back into this wretched rat. No stammering now. Save your words. I know what happened. You dread the thought of her seeing you like this. I admit, you've looked almost dignified these last few days, as all the hours I've lavished on preening and primping you have yielded their fruit. Strutting around my chambers in your dashing doublet, with those little bands of gold I gifted you, glimmering on your fingers. Each day you've looked less a stowaway, and more a sovereign's consort. How dismaying it was for me when I began to realize that pretty coat of paint I so painstakingly layered over your ugly underbelly was beginning to give you delusions of independence. And yet, they would have required all those dozens of hours of tedious work expended to make you presentable. Observe that I hardly took the slightest sliver of effort to wash it all down the drain. A few buckets of filthy rainwater to scour the gel from your hair and strip those beautiful clothes off you. And my spell was broken, leaving you here before me as what you truly are. The small, wet, helpless thing hiding away from the world under their blanket, like a frightened animal, clinging shamelessly to their mistress's bosom, at once desperate for her affection and approval, and terrified of her wrath. Oh my, I wonder what that servant girl would think if I tore that blanket off and bared you to her gaze. I wonder what you would do. Crawl down under the chair, perhaps? Or beneath the floorboards? Oh, calm down. Spare your pleading, Pat. It was only a joke. I'm not that cruel. Don't fret. I promise you're safe under there. I won't take away your blanket, or what remains of your dignity. I actually feel quite sorry for you, having to learn your lesson like this. But you must know that you've brought this all upon yourself. I did warn you that teaching you your place wouldn't always be a pleasant affair. I can see you're feeling very tender right now. It's alright. Let me rub your back and soothe you. There. Doesn't that feel nice? I so enjoy the feeling of your bare skin under my soft palms. No, don't flinch. You aren't going anywhere. Just let me caress you. There you are, girl. What took you so long? Hand me the teacup. Oh, my companion. Their little whimpers tug at one's heartstrings, I know. But I assure you, they're quite alright under there. They're merely embarrassed to have you see them in such a compromising position. That's all. Good girl. You're dismissed. You may bring your head out from under there, pet. She's gone. Here, let me serve you your tea. There you are. Open your mouth and sip. Delicious, isn't it? Oh, you're very welcome, Pat. And what a delicious serval tone you used to say, "Yes, Empress," just now. Color me impressed. I almost thought you had forgotten how to address me properly, with all your brashness in these last few weeks. But now, I see you just needed a little reminder. Perhaps you'll always need a little reminder of what you are, every now and then. A few drops of proverbial rainwater drizzled down your back to keep you humble. That's perfectly alright. I'm quite willing to do what I must to properly train you. I care very deeply for you, Pat. I hope you know that. You're my very favorite plaything. And even if you sometimes give me cause to be harsh with you, my affection for you is undiminished. In fact, it's that very affection that moves me to administer such lessons to protect you from your own worst impulses. I so dread to see my precious pet debase himself by slipping into disobedience and disarray. I only want what is best for you. You know that, don't you? Thank you, Pat. I knew you would come to understand the method in my treatment of you, after all was said and done. Here, perhaps a little kiss will help remind you of the depth of my love for you. Oh, you liked that, didn't you? Here, take another sip of tea, and you look into my eyes. Don't be afraid. I'll remind you, you're not being punished anymore, and I am no longer at all angry with you. You are safe now, here in my arms. I know with certainty that you'll be a good pet for a long while after tonight. I confess, your little whines and whimpers have stirred my heart. I'm not without mercy. Shall we retire to bed early tonight, so that my pet can rest and recover after the ordeal they put themselves through today? I'll give you an especially gentle and loving bath tonight. The warm water will nurse your aches and pains. After that, we'll adjourn to our bed for your nightly lessons in affection. And I promise my tender touch and careful hands will make you forget about all this ugly business. Don't worry. I'll permit you to wear your night clothes to bed. I won't keep you like this, tempting as it would be to do so. Oh, It's alright. No need to sputter. I understand you're a touch overwhelmed. You need time to recuperate. We can stay like this as long as you desire. Just close your eyes and nestle in. Feel the beating of my heart so very close to your own. You are warm and safe and loved here in your Empress's arms. You wandered away from me on your path for a brief moment. That's all. The important thing is that I found you before you strayed too far and reined you in. I brought you back to your rightful place. And not a moment too soon, I think. There is more than one storm lurking on the horizon pad. I do not doubt that you have felt the change in the air. Loyalties shift like quicksand beneath our feet. Once hushed whispers in the dark, winding streets below us grow even louder. Momentous times await my empire. The hour is fast approaching when I will require your company and confidence of my faithful servants out in the world, beyond the confines of this chamber. When a mistress and pad must, of necessity, uncover parts of one another so far kept hidden, and open ourselves to a more raw and complete intimacy between our minds and between our bodies. That is why I must be so firm and forceful with you in your training. When that hour arrives, your allegiance must be unwavering. But do not be afraid, Pad, because your Empress has no fear for you. She knows though you stray, you will stay the course in the end. You are mine, aren't you? You belong to me, do you not? Are you not my loyal pet and plaything, forever and always? Good pet.